Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello and welcome back to more Pathfinder Kingmaker, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Liz. Today's going to be one of our re-spec videos. Specifically, we picked up Octavia,
I
so
won't
we are
let you
going to be
down.
re-speccing her. Let's go over a few things with her before we do that. We'll go to her inventory first, find out why she's got this physical enhancement dexterity. Right, because she has physical
Ready and
enhancement
willing.
because +1 for every 5 wizard levels you possess to a maximum of +5 at the 20th level. Okay, so this is actually useful to her, specifically because um, she can get +5 dexterity as a result of it, which is actually really good for her Arcane Trickster build. So I spoke a little bit about Arcane Trickster earlier. Um, you need you need whatever your casting thing is. So if you're a wizard, you're going to need int. If you're a sage sorcerer, you're going to need int. If you're a regular sorcerer, you're going to need charisma. If you're an imperial sorcerer, you're going to need wisdom. If you're a bard, you're going to need charisma. If you're a can alchemists do it? I don't think. No, they're not arcane casters, are they? A magus is an arcane caster, though, right? They can do it as well using whatever their caster thing is. But you also need dex because you have to hit these attacks that are called range touch attacks. So at level 0 we have acid splash, which is a range touch attack at close range. And range touch attacks use the same rules that like shooting a bow do. In order to hit, you need to hit with your dexterity. And because you're not going to increase your dexterity as you level up, you're going to be stuck with whatever you begin with, and that sort of sucks. But Octavia can get around a little bit of that as a wizard with the transmutation school because she gets physical enhancement, which gives her +1 to a stat. And it increases as levels go up. So at the 20th level, she's actually going to get +5 to dexterity. So we're going to get 4 extra points in dexterity as a result of that physical enhancement if we keep with Octavia, which means she is going to end up with 22 dex, which is not that shabby, actually, when you think about it. That's not too bad. And we lose that if we go sorcerer, because this is a wizard who is transmutation spec gets this, who's focused her studies on that. So, well, I sort of do want to go sorcerer with her. I kind of don't want to because of that. I mean, she is a relatively good spec already. She is capable. On the other hand, I don't necessarily need an arcane trickster. So I'm like, we could just go pure sorcerer with her and just have some awesome sauce stuff and lots of spells that we can cast and cast like big fireballs that blow people up and buff people and all that kind of thing. Like we don't have to go into arcane trickster. Anyway, let's take a look. I did a hard save before this, and if we decide we're not going to respec, we decide we're not going to respec. But let's take a look at what we could maybe do if we did. And this might take a few goes to figure out exactly what we want to do. We're going to first of all give ourselves the money that it takes to do this respec, which is going to be an extra 1,000, just like that. And then we will go into respecialization, and we'll take Octavia. We'll go to 25 points. So her base stats are 10, 17, 8 con, 17 int, 10 wisdom, and 14 charisma. But we will do a respec and submit. Close. Okay, so we've got some options. She takes rogue at this point by default. If we want to be an arcane trickster, taking rogue is what we want to be doing. You know what? I'm not sure I want to. We could still do rogue and wizard with transmutation spec and get the bonus and just play our stats a little bit nicer. The thing is, wizard, hold on. The bomb, alchemy, Thessalonian specialist, specific schools, blah blah blah, impurities. That'll be an arcane bond, scroll savant, She gets the specialist school as well. She gets the scroll focus, use magic device, all that stuff. Arcane bond again. Yeah, no, we're definitely going to be going int based if we do this, which means we're going to dump our charisma, which means I'm not going to have anybody who's going to be able to do the regent role. So we definitely want a charisma based person for this. So we're definitely going sorcerer. So we either go arcane trickster sorcerer, who's going to have 18 dex and is not going to get the bonus of the transmutation specialist, or we just go flat out regular sorcerer and we say screw the arcane trickster. So arcane tricksters, what they get is the ability to sneak attack, and they can do a crap ton of damage in this game. As I've sort of said, they could potentially do. So you take the 1 level in rogue, you take accomplished sneak attacker, and then you take 10 levels in arcane trickster and what is it, like 9 levels in sorcerer. So you're going to get up to this in sorcerer here, which you're going to get some bloodline abilities as well. But this is how far you get in sorcerer, and the 10 levels in arcane trickster all count as sorcerer levels as well. You just don't get the sorcerer stuff specifically, and in those levels you get a bunch of additional sneak attacks. You know, we can give her like a dex belt though. I mean, she'll be we can make her acceptable. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do it. I talked myself back into it. We're gonna do a rogue-based arcane trickster with a sorcerer as the underlining arcane class here instead of a wizard. So she's not gonna get that +5 bonus to dex, which is huge for an arcane trickster. Don't get me wrong. But she's going to have the ability to cast some more spells and all that kind of stuff. So no big, like, we might take, like, Fireball or whatever, but no big, like, hardcore AoE fireballing spec for us today. We're going to be, like, individual attacks and all that kind of good stuff. We should still be able to do something good. So we're going to take 1 level of Rogue, and our stats are going to be, we are going to go into Charisma, and we will pump Charisma up to 19, and then we're going to get Dex to like 18, and we'll reduce a few things in order to make that happen. That's really shit. Like, we need int as well in order to make this happen. I'd like 14 int. We already have our odd number in charisma. We could do our odd number in dex instead, and then we are... Actually, that makes it even dex, but yeah, you know what I mean. We could do our odd in dex by nerfing some other stuff. So if we dump that, and if we dump this all the way down to 7, and that gives us a reduced will save. If we go to 8, I hate that we have such a bad will save. But we could go 17 here. That only gets us 13 int, though. I really need the one more. So we tank our will save, or we tank our con. Man, tanking con is so scary. But in theory, she should never be getting hit, right? That reduces her fort save, though. Fort save versus will save. Fort save is what saves you from poisons. But we can always prevent poison. It's really hard without a paladin to do stuff that helps your will save. There are spells that will prevent poison from hitting us, though. But having a low fort save means she's going to be fatigued all of the time. Like, all of the time. I really want that 14 int, though. See, there's no effective difference in doing that. Okay, so what if we don't, like, sort of min-max our stats here, and we go and say we're not going to be super-duper maxed out? So that means we could have 3 odd numbers, potentially. Or we could say charisma is like 18 to begin with, dex is 17, we bump that to 18, and then we take our 14 int. Then we can get our will save up. And we can get our con up. Okay, so in this we have the 1 odd here. This is now an even, it's at 18. I mean, neither of these are necessarily that good for us. but I'm not going to tank anything else to make that work. So we're definitely going to increase one of these. And I guess that's going to be wisdom, with the thought that we might take one more point in it at some point. Like, that seems like such a waste. This seems like a waste of stats, guys. I'm going to play a little bit and I'll be back. Alright, I think these are going to be our stats. We are going to be 7 strength, 18 dex, 8 constitution, so our fort is going to go down as a result. 14 int, because we need access to skill points, especially as a sorcerer. Sorcerers get less than wizards do. They get 1 less, and they get 2 less than rogues do, I think. So we need access to mobility, trickery, and knowledge arcana in order to get the arcane trickster prestige class later. But yeah, anyway, we're going to need that 14 int. 7 wisdom, which means we're fully tanking wisdom, which means we're taking the -2 to will saves, and we have the -1 to fort. So our reflex is good, but our saves are atrocious in order to achieve this. Wisdom, yeah, and then charisma 19. So charisma is our odd. We're going to get 5 points, which means one of them is, they're all going to go into charisma basically, and we're going to end up with an even charisma as a result of that. Okay, that's it. I'm not the most pleased with it. I feel like you could compare it to her stock build. I feel like this build is much more focused on what it does than her stock build is, and it's going to have the ability to throw out more spells than her stock build does. Because wizard-based arcane tricksters have almost no spells. They can do almost nothing. And she's transmutation spec'd, so you naturally want to give her, like, haste and enlarge person and all those things, because she gets the extra slot for those, which means she has even less rays that she can cast as a result. She can only do 3 or 4 of any particularly good rays, but that spec gives her access to the buff that gives her the dex that she needs to hit with those rays. So she'll be able to throw more spells. We're going to have to put gear on to pump her dex so that she can actually hit, but it should be okay. Needs mobility, needs trickery, needs... We'll give her stealth for now. She needs knowledge arcana. We should really give her, like, use magic device and perception or persuasion or something. If she doesn't have perception, she's not going to be spotting the traps herself. So she's disarming them but not spotting them, which I don't necessarily hate. And she's not going to be able to continue putting all of these points into stuff. She doesn't need persuasion. We'll use magic device and knowledge world. Okay. And she's going to reduce the amount of points she has at the next level, so... Alright, cool. That's our Octavia. She is going to get a skill focus, which is, since she's an arcane trickster after all, we're going to make it in trickery. So her job is going to be to open chests and whatnot. And her feat at the first level here has to be point blank shot. Arcane tricksters are ray based, which means you need point blank shot and you need precision shot. So, or precise shot or whatever, the thing that removes the -4 penalty. So we absolutely have to take that. There's no other choice here. Well, is there? Hold on. We take precision shot, precise shot, then at level 5 we get accomplished sneak attacker, and then level 6 is where we get the level 2 arcane spells. So that is where we're going to... Yeah, okay, this is right. This is the way it's supposed to be. So at level 5, we're going to take accomplished sneak attacker. Okay, sounds good to me. Let's complete. And then she's going to take sorcerer, regular, standard, bog standard sorc. We're going to lose access to master strike and rogue talent. We're going to lose access to any level 20 bloodline stuff, but that's okay. Our bloodline, there's a few choices here. You can take an elemental bloodline, and you'll gain access to a ray, elemental ray, immediately. You'll get class skill mobility, so that's cool, I suppose. We've already got mobility, though, so that's fine. You'll get burning hands for free at level 3, which is okay. It's not a kind of spell that we are going to be using. Some resistances. You get scorching ray for free, but at level 5, you can normally get it at level 4, so you find yourself not taking it. Protection from energy, elemental blast, elemental bodies, all these elemental body skills or spells, which kind of waste for me. Move speed, summon monster, but we're only going to get up to level 9 in this, remember, so Elemental Blast is where we cut off. So all we really gain is Scorching Ray if we take this. And this Elemental Ray initially, which we get a bunch of casts of. So that's okay. We could take a Draconic Bloodline, which again, we'll get up to level 9, so we're going to get to Fear. We'll get Dispel Magic, Resist Energy, which is cool. Dragon Resistances. We'll get Mage Armor for free. We're not going to need to spend a spell on Mage Armor. That's kind of cool. Draconic Bloodline, red, gives us +1 to fire damage. We get Perception as a skill bonus, although I'm not taking Perception, so I mean, the Dragon Bloodline is good too. And then you have Arcane Bloodline, which is also really good. And the reason Arcane Bloodline is good is you get... when you apply meta magic that increases by at least 1 DC, the bonus does not stack with itself and does not apply spells modified to the heightened spell feat. So that's okay. We're going to be using some meta magic eventually. You get the Sorcerer bonus feat, which is really cool, which you don't get with everybody else, yeah? No, you do. Never mind. I'm an idiot. But more importantly, you get this Arcane Bond. So you can form a bond with a creature just like wizards can. You still don't get the specialization, but you do get to bond with a creature. And then Bloodline class skill selection. We get to choose what skill we focus in. That's fine. Then we get access to combat casting, which is really cool. Magic missiles, which we're not going to be using. Invisibility, Dispel Magic, a new Arcana, which is going to give us access to additional spells. Dimension Door, Break Enchantment, True Seeing, another new Arcana, which we don't get access to. Again, we're only going to get up to 9, so we're going to get 1 additional spell as a result of this if we take Arcane. So Arcane is really good. Abyssal is also really good. Full Strength, get lots of strong stuff. Other potentially really good one, Infernal can do some stuff, although I'm not the biggest fan of it. They get access to both Scorching Ray and Hellfire Ray, but we're not going to get high enough to get Hellfire Ray, so it doesn't really matter there. Really, I'm feeling either Arcane or Draconic Bloodline red for this kind of thing. I feel like Arcane is built much more for like fireball throwing people. So let's go Draconic Bloodline red. Yeah, let's do it. We'll make her a Draconic Bloodline. She has the blood of dragons flowing through her veins, and now we only get 3 points. So that's Mobility, Trickery, and Knowledge Arcana, because those are what we need in order to get Arcane Trickster. We'll get an additional point once we become an Arcane Trickster, but that's all we can do for now with 14 int. So yeah, we lose a little bit there. If she was a human, she'd get more. Okay. And then with this is what, the Sorcerer bonus? Yeah, so Sorcerer bonus, we can't get Precise Shot. So we could do Spell Focus, we could do Combat Casting, Elemental Focus, we could start doing Meta Magics and Spell Penetration and all these kinds of things. So we could do Spell Focus Evocation if we wanted to, but Spell Penetration is +2 on caster level checks, made to overcome resistance, whereas Spell Focus is plus on saving throws. They're not going to be doing saving throws against us for the most part, because we're going to be shooting rays at them. Saving throws is like a fireball. You throw that at them. Spell Penetration might be more useful for us here. Combat Casting, Elemental Focus. Like, all of these are kind of to us using a ray build. I mean, we could focus Evocation technically. We'll do Spell Penetration. And then our initial spells, we're taking Burning Hands, and we're not going to take Mage Armor. We're probably going to take Enlarged Person. Ray of Enfeeblement is pretty good for us. Snowball is really good for us, but we're not going to be using it immediately. We're going to be using our Cantrip for the first little bit. So, yeah, we'll take Enlarged Person. We can enlarge Liz, and then she's going to have a lot of extra reach with her polearm, so that'll be cool. Alright, there we go. We have our new Octavia built. She has access to 4 spell uses at level 1 per day. She doesn't have access to any of them right now. We are going to have her... Not Burning Hands. Take this. Where's her cantrips? Where the hell are all of her cantrips? Am I going to need to go to sleep in order to use her cantrips? They should be right... Oh, different tier, that's why. Silly me. I have to put the level that they are here. We're going to put this on here. We're going to auto cast Acid Splash. So she's just going to use it on her own. There's also Ray of Frost. I'm going to prefer Acid Splash here, though. I don't think we're really going to use much of any of the others. 1 minute. Yeah, it just doesn't last the way we're going to need it. Okay. So that's Octavia. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. This has been our respec of Octavia. We're going to continue with the campaign in the next video. Bye-bye.